Football lovers, I know usually I start this show with a trivia question, but we're going to start off with something different. We have a breaking story. Essie Khadebe has found someone, or something rather, that he's in love with. The new Nelson Makoma design trophy has hit the shores of South Africa, and Mamelodi Sundowns held it for the first time. It looked like a shisha pipe to me, but what do you think of that new trophy?
You know, for the first time, I think Sundowns has won a trophy that I don't approve of. But nonetheless, I'm not going to banter it. The story behind it is beautiful. When he explains it in terms of the bottom of the trophy being a tree with roots on it, and stemming in terms of where South African football is coming from, you know, the fans. You can literally see it on top of the trophy as well, in terms of the players carrying that victory, you know. It speaks of a lot of things behind it. So quite an interesting story on the trophy, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure for Betway Premiership if that was a trophy I'd bring out, man.
Yes, I mean, the Champions League section of Mamelodi Sundowns cabinet has more cobwebs than trophies, but we'll talk about that later on the show. This show is centered around trophies and titles and continental glory, and this has inspired our trivia question for today. I simply want to know how many AFCON titles has Banyana won. And speaking of winning, I think this is the perfect time to congratulate Remo Stars, who won the Nigerian Premier League, 21 wins, 5 draws, 9 losses, and also in Tunisia, Esperance de Tunis, who won their 34th title with 1 game to spare, and in Angola, Petro de Luanda, winning that competition under dramatic circumstances. And speaking of drama, Amajita did the unthinkable. You know, these guys were buzzing my phone, especially when Amajita beats Nigeria. I was wondering, why is the Mzansi Fundis crew calling me? Auntie Diski was calling me. Even you were calling me at some stage. No, why is this win so big for South Africa?
Before I get into that, it's good that we call you, because when Nigeria plays us, prior to the game, you know how to send us texts and tell us a lot of information about your team, telling us how they're playing in Europe and so forth. But
nobody believes you. Nobody believes you.
But shout out to Remo Stars. What a beautiful team to see. Great football they play. Against the Kurudu City, they played a good game. But let's get into South Africa and the AFCON U-20. What a tournament we saw. Very interesting, I have to say. I think Raymond Mdaka has quite a beautiful team to see. But there's something interesting in this when you look at it. The comparisons between a certain team that I'm going to mention that was playing in 2009, coached by Serame Letsoka. Oh, what a team, man. You're going to hear the names on that team, and I think you're going to be blown away, because I myself, when Tapruno gave me this, and I was like, my God.
No, give us the names.
You know, this is an insane team.
Let's hear
who
was in that team.
I mean, you have to just listen to these names. Tulwane Hlachai, who currently plays for SuperSport. Okay. Former captain of Bafana Bafana, former captain of Orlando Pirates, current captain of SuperSport United. This is something interesting. Ramashon Mphahlele, former Kaizer Chiefs captain, former Sundowns captain.
Wow.
These are just 2 names that I'm mentioning to you to tell you that this is a team that was insane. This is a team that played proper football. You've got Ithela Ngubeni in there from Kaizer Chiefs. What a team it was. Dylan Klesen went on to go play overseas. Darren Keat went on to go play overseas. Gomolemo Kekana went on to go play overseas. And I look at this team and I ask myself, and probably this is a question to the viewers to say to them, when you look at the 2009 team versus the 2025 team, which team would you say is the best team? But nonetheless, because now for me, 2025, the team that won it was South Africa. I'll give it to the 2025 boys and say, you know what, kudos to them. But let's take you through to the group stages in terms of what they did leading up to the final. You look at South Africa in their Group A, which is, they were playing a team against Sierra Leone, Egypt, Zambia, and Kenya, and Tanzania in there, to be correct, you know. What an interesting group to look at it in there. You've got Egypt in there. Yeah. Sierra Leone coming through for the first time, and
the team didn't start so well.
Yeah, they started with They started with a loss, and playing against Egypt. And what I like about this fixture, you know what, I'm going to point reference a different tournament and say, you look at the under-17, probably the same fixture, you know what, a difficult fixture for South Africa, but they kept on pushing themselves. But coming back into the under-20, they lost that game against Egypt. Quite a close game if you look at it. And I think Raymond Mdaka, I think it was a wake-up call for his team to say, you know what, guys, you're not just here to add numbers. You really want to send out a message to these teams to say, you know what, we want to do something. You've got Morocco in there that faced South Africa in the final. In their group, they had Nigeria, Tunisia. They had Kenya in there. I reference Kenya again, even though they finished bottom of the group. Benny McCarthy has so many options to look at in terms of his squad for the World Cup qualifiers. And I think he's going to have a good team in there. You've got Nigeria as well. Nigeria doing well, coming out second in the group with 5 points.
I was hoping you would skip what happened in the semi-finals. We can go to what happened to the finals. In the finals,
no, I can't do
immediately.
that. I can't do that. Just to touch reference, just to give people a perspective in terms of, you look at the groups again, you've got Group C where you've got Ghana and Senegal.
Yes.
Former champions in there, man. I mean, Senegal for me was a team, and I remember in one of the shows I told you that Senegal was the team to look at, and unfortunately they failed to actually go to the last round of
Senegal have a player called Sheikh Thiam.
Yeah.
Who impressed me. He had some Yaya Toure vibes there.
Yeah.
It was just making the interceptions at the right time, knowing when to release the ball. It was maturity beyond his years.
I'll tell you something about that player. He scores in their game against Central African Republic, in the 49th minute. And beautiful goal from him. Yes. Though they played a 1-0 draw against Central African Republic. It didn't go as anticipated for them, but we move on from that and we look at the groups again and to say, you know what, Senegal coming second and Ghana being the first team to be there. Something interesting about Ghana, they went on in 2009 to go upset South Africa. I spoke about the squad that South Africa had. You look at the squad that Ghana had. Yeah. What a team!
What a team! Ghana actually won the under-17 and the under-20 tournament in 1993. Nigeria doing it in 1989. And in 2023, Senegal winning under-17, under-20. But nobody has held the youth championships, 3 of them at the same time. And Morocco was on the verge of doing that, but South Africa stopped them. We're going to talk more about Amajita after the break because there's so much I want to cook SC about. You can't miss this. Stay tuned.